Hold on a second. I'll situate this in a minute, okay? Just kind of give me a bit. Because I was asked to start this video in between me getting messages to do a video for you. And they're like, okay, record. And I'm like, no, I'm not ready to record. I'm like, really not ready. And they're like, just click record and go. I'm like, okay, hold on. So what we have playing for music is Sedona Crystal Temple singing bowls. And then we have Buddha Bar. I think it's pretty good background music, at least for me. I asked what this reading needs to be about, and I saw what is in the title. And I asked for truth and clarity and all that, and then the puppy jumped off my lap. He's been in there, just asleep. So the message I got from that is that some of you are supposed to allow companionship into your life. There we go. That's better. And then this happened. I had them all organized. So I haven't been around for a day or two or whatever it's been. Sorry for the chair squeaking. Because apparently my computer had a problem that was a really obvious fix for days. And my dad had to drive here twice from Chicago to fix it. In the time I haven't been on YouTube recording or even had access to my computer, I've been watching Netflix, a show called Sisyphus and Winx, season 1 and 2, which are kind of cool, cheesy but cool. And there were a whole bunch of messages in those videos. We'll go over them in another video. One of them actually has to do with a water sign, like the water elemental in that video. And I'm looking for my phone and I don't know where the fuck I put it. Let me see if I can find it. Not my phone. Well, my phone too. Dang it. Let me see if I can look it up on YouTube. Anyway, it's with a character named Aisha. No, I have to show you. Hold on. Mr. Teddy Bear. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. Okay, go in the night. Go on. It's this. Let me see if you guys can even hear this.
Expectations from the long pictures, everything is us can really not be can be. People's thoughts now. You're right to me. now you get to have those moments to keep them and they help you to my first boyfriend, my first kiss. I think it was you. You have to know the choices you made.
I really apologize about the volume on this. I don't know what else I can do about it. You can try to find it yourself. It's season 2 of Winx, and it's an Aisha scene. It's really relevant to this reading. I can't use tarot cards for this. So this is for the water element in your chart. So wherever your water placements are, you know, if it's your sun sign, then this is your overall, whatever. You know the drill. We're not asking about past or future. We're asking about what you need to know right now for your today, so you can go and have a good day or night or whatever. Oh, Jesus. Theodore, please stop. Okay. I'm just going to reorganize all these later, because this is highly uncomfortable. The rundown of that scene, by the way, was that the guy she was dating was lying to her the entire time. And then he falls in love with her, and she's like, you know, it wasn't real for me. And he's like, oh, but it was real for me. And she's like, well, yeah, it was real for you. You're the one that was lying. You knew you were lying. I didn't. So, anyway, this is for you guys that you need to know today, right now. We've been over this. And that's what it is. There's a block. There's a dam. I'm seeing water flowing, and it hits a wall, and then the water splashes back in on itself again. Like I don't know what that is. It's like a simulated wave machine or something. Anyway, let me see if this is better. Okay, we're just gonna do this until I fix this, because I think I'm gonna start doing the videos on that chair and just kind of leave this here. Or I can figure out a way to use this other side. But I only have this much leeway. So I don't know, Pikachu. I don't know what to tell you. What I do know is this energy I'm reading and feeling right now does not feel comfortable. It feels awkward, feels anxious, it feels nervous, and not in a good way. It's like someone hiding in a closet and someone's looking around the house and they're about to check the closet, and the person in the closet is watching the person walk towards them. What I'm feeling right now is the energy of that person in the closet, and then the energy of the person looking for the person in the closet. I don't know. I don't know. Well, that's kind of better. Clear that up. So weird fucking energy. What do you guys need to know right now for your right now to help you gain clarity and common sense? So you guys have seen the reading so far. It's been 11 minutes of this weird water hitting a wall and going back on the water. Cards on flipping out. And the only imagery I keep seeing is the same two scenes. Water hitting a wall and someone in a closet afraid of being found. So let's bring in another energy into it. Let's bring in clarity, please. Thank you. Okay. Those of you fiddling with magic, trying to control something and subvert the truth with deceit, you're going to be given a choice to cut something out. Those of you on the negative spectrum, okay? So this is going to be a very specific message to a lot of people, but each of you are going to receive it differently. So take a breath in, clear your head, imagine a field of roses. Now, whether it's you or someone else, there is 666 here, okay? Someone, somewhere, is utilizing Theodore. They're not utilizing Theodore. Lay down, please. Someone, somewhere, is utilizing magic to change the direction of something. Remember how this is like a weather vane? You know, in the wind it blows over a chicken coop or something. Theodore, stop. Someone is using magic to manipulate the truth and the mind and the processing capacity of others. Another energy is coming in, the same balancing point as that magic being used. 6, 6. Balancing energies of masculine and feminine, of earth and spirit, yin yang, used to manipulate, but also double-edged sword, used to benefit. Magic. 6. One side's doing it for good, one side's doing it for bad. Pick which spot you're on, because the next step is the wheel of fate and fortune and destiny, which brings about different paths. But before you can get to the 8 and move through to the 9, you have to go through the 7. And that 7 is being put ahead of the wheel, so people purposefully can't get on or off the wheel. They're tamed into a different direction with the arrow pointing the way to a direction that isn't where they're supposed to go. It's where they're meant, like, forced to go. See how there's a maze in the many paths? There's one real way to go, but that arrow keeps pointing the way towards other directions. Another 3. So before people can get to where they're supposed to go, something keeps happening to divert it. Kind of like someone trying to cross the street and then the wind blows to stop them, and then suddenly there's a car that goes by. One side made that car go that fast to hit the person. The other side made the wind blow to push the person back. Pick which side you're on. That's what's going on. That's the general energy, okay? There's 2 forces affecting people. But it's not one person, it's not 2 people, it's not like a individual thing where it's just you and your baby daddy or anything like that. It's everywhere. It's regarding many paths. It's regarding the wind, which is all around the planet. And then there are directional changes and manipulation and forces that are controlling that thing. We all know this, right? Some of you are deeply involved in this. Why I'm being shown this as what you need to know now, I am uncertain of. What I can tell you that I do know and sense as a reader of this energy is that Theodore is getting on my fucking nerves with his wet tongue on his tail on my clothes. And this is that energy. I'm trying to do something, that dog is off in his own world. I try to organize the cards, something happens to distract them. I try to make a video, my computer went off earlier. Theodore, lay down. Reading this as your advice, take back your decision-making skills. Stop taking orders from people you know are giving you fucked up orders. Stop going in a direction that you know brings you pain. Stop thinking the thoughts you bring that bring you emotional distress. And when you recognize that you are doing that, thinking that, or feeling that, change it. Because you're the one holding the blade, which is your mind, which is utilizing its ability to distort your way forward by keeping you stuck in the same maze. Because if you move forward and get through the maze, it means that you closed a chapter and moved to the next chapter. I know it's difficult. I know it's painful. I know it hurts to see people for who they really are, and I know it's even more painful to accept that the people we knew aren't really who they are. You know? So, what can you do? If this is your advice, take back your magic. Don't fight fire with fire. Fight it with truth. Pick a direction, have a goal, and go do your thing. Stay in your lane, meaning don't try to be what other people are. Because if other people are utilizing magic to tame the wind in your mind, to replicate it through the wheel in many paths, copied, replicated, etc., whatever that may be for you, you must realize within the mind that you possess that the people that copy-paste or replicate hate themselves because they would rather be what they're copying than who they are. So you cannot take fight against those people because they are mentally ill. They keep copying. They herd to each other, H-E-R-D. They bark and they snap. They avoid the truth. They go in different directions. They gaslight. They project. They come up with terms to justify their behavior. They create things that webs and pathways that make them right and others wrong. You cannot fight that. Because when you do fight it, then they have every single thing in every textbook to say, this is what's wrong with the person telling the truth. It's a delusion. Some of you are going through that. Some of you are doing that. The advice for it is, if you guys take back your power, the arrow, the blade, and the staff, and tame those minds that keep telling you what to do, including your own thoughts, then your own magic will be unlocked, and you will get to control the wheel of your own life and move forward through the paths, regardless of where they lead. So you're stuck in a corner, fly up. There is no ceiling. You know, there's a ceiling and you can't fly up, then dig down. It's three-dimensional, isn't it? That means there's a fourth dimension too. So remote view. There's always a way. But these people, whoever they are in everyone's lives, including their own lives, have been manipulated by forces of magic that they are told is unreal. But that same unreal magic has been the blade taming their mind, keeping their magic stuck within the wheel. That keeps them searching for it when they are it. Again, what's the advice for you? What would the advice be for anybody in this situation? Quit fucking around. I spent a few days without any internet other than Netflix and basic YouTube on like a cell phone. And I noticed I can watch YouTube on a TV, right? So people watch me on a TV. And I'm noticing how there's so much fakery on the internet, right? All around. It's like an arrow piercing the planet, tilting it at an axis with lies and replicas and copycats. And if they're mentioned, then they group together and defend each other against the thing that they're copying. It's like a cycle, like a circle, a snake eating its own tail. Something that happens in the future that's prevented by something in the past that affects something in the present moment. But like an ocean, it's perpetually stuck on itself, like Sisyphus pushing a rock up a hill. Anytime the truth comes out, everything else is tainted to make the truth seem like the lie. It's similar to adding, I'm seeing this as a syringe injecting a antibody or an antivenom into the venom. If the venom has a consciousness, then the antivenom to the venom is the enemy. And that's what a lot of you are realizing. There's nothing wrong with you. You're the cure to a sick world. What else do they need to know? As soon as you can command your thoughts, 5-5, as soon as you can command your thoughts, it goes to a 10, which goes back to the beginning, which means you hold the staff of power within your being. You become the mystical shaman. The world has been permeated by a mist of deceit, and in that mist, the purpose of it has been to teach you how to recognize the deceit. But some of you have embraced the deceit as truth. So to those of you, the truth is poison, because it destroys your reality. There are 3 methods of manipulation: the staff of the earth, the spine, the arrow, the truth, and the blade, the things that cut and bring together. Excuse me a second. Okay. What else do you need to know? Oh my God. The serpent, 4 and 6 adds up to a 10. 5 and 5 adds up to a 10. Oh, my ear is ringing. My right ear. Whoever was hiding in the closet just got caught. I don't know what that means. Here's the upper world card again. The sacrifice, 448, 358. So in order to get through this path that some of you are on, to complete the path, the Ouroboros, whatever it is for you guys, you have to embrace the serpent within. You have to claim your own magic back. Because as long as some of you are pretending to be other people or using mannerisms of other people, utilizing personality habits, clothing styles, hair colors, whatever that is unoriginal to your authentic self. If you guys, that group of people that do that, which is lots and lots of billions of people, the less you guys do that, the better off you will be. So some of you are asked to sacrifice other people's energy you've taken, behavior, habits, mind, mentality, personality, etc., even personal belongings. Return it all to where it comes from. and see what's left within you as you. A serpent sheds its skin, but underneath that, it's itself. But during the time it had that skin, it was someone else. It was living a different life. And then it sheds that skin, and then it's another serpent, but it's still the same. Now, if I can go through this with testosterone and estrogen back and forth, living a life as a man and a woman, neither of which are completely one or the other, and I can keep shifting back and forth every 5 minutes, every 10 days, every whatever the hell, then if I can work in that fluidity, that mercurial space, and see you guys in your cardinal and mutable, cardinal and fixed spaces, looking at you guys from a mutable standpoint, then I can see how you guys are being rigid in your affairs and how you guys are copy pasting each other and maintaining that rigidity. You guys are creating your own blockages because you're utilizing energy that needs to be sacrificed back to its source, back to the mother, back to the father, back to the people you copied it from. Can you honestly say that everyone in the world and their minds are 100% authentically their own thoughts, actions, personality, mannerisms, the way they smile, the way they pose, the way they dress, the way they style their hair, the way they paint nails, the way they do whatever? It's copied, right? And even down to the grocery store, you go to a grocery store, there is a gallon of milk, but it's copied with like 20 different fucking labels. But it's still from probably the same cow field somewhere, or the same food factory or some shit. They're like, oh, this is from this farm, this is from that farm. But really, they're not. They're copy paste. Now, what would happen if our entire planet became original? If the people you knew around you shed their skin, 5-5, let it go, start over as yourself, whoever you are, 4 + 6, 10, shed that skin and start over. Use your own wisdom, sacrifice what wasn't yours, and be who you are. 8, 8, that's how you get to the wheel. You have to be yourself. I'm being shown my ex-best friend, or the paid actor who was pretending to be my best friend for about 20 years, and how he's gone through life with a lot of my mannerisms. Because we were friends for so long, we kind of, I don't know how to explain it, picked up each other's habits and all that stuff. People used to say we looked like brothers, or that I was a sister and he was a brother and shit. So I'm seeing him being shown to me in my mind's eye, like some being, like a giant hand is undressing his auric field of like all the shit that isn't his. And then they're showing me what is his is just a scared child. So put that for yourself, okay? If someone ripped away all those little pieces that aren't yours, would you be a serpent or a butterfly? If someone yoinks every piece of you that isn't you, if someone took all the pieces of that eagle that the eagle was copying from a hedgehog and a cheetah and a snake or whatever, what would be left of that eagle? Just the eagle itself, right? So why is this eagle, whoever you are, hating itself so much as a collective that they want to be something else? A hummingbird, maybe. Why? Because the way through the path is to weave it as your authentic self. Because then the path opens for you. But every time you make a decision in the path that is a copy paste of someone else's decision or energy or intention. So if I'm going down in a maze somewhere and I'm like, oh, which way do I go now? What would what would Betty White do? And if I go down that path as that decision, the path closes and moves in the direction of for Betty White. Get it? May she rest in power. But if you sacrifice all that other energy and go through the path yourself as yourself, then the path opens and you're already complete, and heaven on earth is right there. Because you cannot have deceit in heaven. So if you have deceit within yourself, how can you expect to be a light worker? Are you using that light to create deception? Let's see what else you need to know. Clarification, please, for this now day. That will make sense to them. Fairy guide. Look at this, you guys, man. You guys are being guided through the maze, and the next step is to shed what isn't yours and moved in the maze. That's why you guys can't fucking figure out common sense. As a species, it's unimaginably stupid, isn't it? A species that is so dumbfounded within itself that it enacts violence on itself. What the fuck? And then you guys bow and pray to gods and goddesses and do rituals and all these fucking ridiculous things, when the entire point is, do you want this or that? Deceit or truth? Which pearl? One has to go. One can stay. Do you want to live in a world of deceit and illusions, or do you want to live in a world of truth and heaven on earth? The path is open for your authentic self, not for who you're pretending to be. I mean, can you even begin to imagine how many people in the world think they're Mary Magdalene? Can you even imagine how many people in the world think they're the reincarnation of David Bowie? Or how many people in the world think they're like, I don't even know what the fuck I look like, but do you get the picture, right? How many people think that? But there's one truth, isn't there? There's one fact, and everything else has to be sacrificed. You can't move ahead unless you sacrifice something. And what you're being asked to sacrifice is nothing important to you, because it doesn't belong to you. So why should it be important to you? You know? If Frankie or Corey or somebody has something of mine and God's like, give it back, and they're like, no. Well, yoink. But why would they say no, right? If I'm gonna go and yoink something from yoink from like the Louvre, right? A fucking museum somewhere where all the galleries are like priceless and everything belongs to the species of humanity, and I'm gonna go and yoink something from there. And then at Heaven's Gate, God's like, okay, whatever isn't yours has to stay behind, and whatever is yours, you can, take with you. How much stuff do you think people right now would be left behind in cities if God came down, the gods, spirit, they came down and said, okay, we can all go, but only with what's yours? How many of you would be like, oh shit? I wouldn't. I'd be like, okay, let's go. I'm ready. But some of you guys have a lot of other people's stuff. Energetically, mentally, spiritually, financially, things that don't belong to you. You gotta let it go. That's why some of you are experiencing really terrible things in your life. And others of you are stuck or seemingly stuck, and you don't know why you're stuck. It's because you're trying to function a way through the maze of your life with someone else's map. I can almost guarantee the shit Corey is going through right now, and you guys know about that, Leo. Most of you do. I can almost guarantee you the shit he's going through right now is his entire reality falling apart. because he built his entire reality based on everything I had in that house. Everything. My clothes, pictures, everything. So what do you think is going to happen to that reality? It'll crumble apart to reveal what's actually there that's authentic to him. It's justice. In this deck, the Fairy Oracle, when the Fairy Guide and the Death cards show up together, sometimes it speaks of irreversible change. When it's with the Raw card, this card in the book, it specifically states whatever cards are next to it are amplified in magnitude by almost an infinite nuclear amount, okay, like infinitely exploding, because it just ripples out with every card, and then each card gets more and more potent in its meaning. So since this is here, and just looking at these three, and the energy I'm being asked to share with you regarding these three, yet again we have the 7, 5 plus 2, which is the many paths. It's supposed to be right there. And then we have the 5 and 3, the wheel. You guys, almost all of you, are stuck on the wheel because you refuse to let something go that isn't yours. Remember the pearl? And I was like, this or that. You guys are holding on to something that's not yours. Physical, material, mental, spiritual, yada, blah, blah, whatever. Another example I'm being asked to give you is 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, a neighbor passed away. His name's Robert. May he rest in peace. But he was the one who kept stealing everything from the neighbors. And he's the one that had the leper marks on his skin, like boils and lepers. And, literally, he had all the stuff on his skin, head to toe. So God was trying to tell him for decades of his life, stop stealing. I'll mark your skin, stop stealing. People see you, the scarlet letter, stop stealing. And he didn't. Right up to even when he stole packages that were donated to me for tucks, through Amazon wishlist. He stole that shit too. And 2 weeks ago, he dropped dead in his apartment. Just dead. No one knows what the fuck happened. No one knows anything. But they found, I think she was saying, the neighbor, she told me, she was like telling me in the hallway, I think they found more boxes in his house that didn't belong to him. So I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. So I need you guys to be very careful, because I told you a while ago, God's not playing. The Elohim are not playing. I mean, think about it. Would a dragon play with you? Would a dragon give theft any ounce of mercy? Would a fucking dragon humanoid, a reptilian, a Pleiadian, a Zeta Reticuli, a what the fuck ever, would any of them allow for theft to occur more than 3 times from one person? No. Would you allow someone to steal from you more than 3 times and not do anything? No. Would you let something go, an injustice that was done more than a decade ago, of people literally stealing your life while you're alive, and then say, just let it go, it's been 10 years? You'd be like, fuck you, I'm not letting that go. That was a fucking divine injustice and theft that occurred. And you know what? When God hears that, God goes, I'm with you, babe. That was fucked up. Let's fix it. But first, you gotta let go of what's not yours so I can bring back to you what is yours. And as more as I've let go of shit that wasn't mine, guess what's happening to the lives of people who took what was mine? What was mine in their block, in their little Jenga puzzle, the pieces that were mine are being removed and brought back to me. So they're left with an incomplete life experience now because they based their life experience on pearls that weren't theirs. The advice is in the problem. The problem is due to a lack of action on the advice. And the original problem started with human theft, which is at the root of a lot of human beings. Greed, deceit, treachery, and betrayal. These are 4 fundamental things every human being has done for whatever reason. And those 4 pillars are supposed to be more along the lines of love, beauty, truth, and justice. And then they break out into 4 more directionals, like the 8-pointed star, with kindness, mercy, compassion, and honor. And you break that even more down. And when you're in the center of that star, of the moral compass, like the North Star, you can never go wrong. Because you can just check all the, Lily, if you're going to hiss like a serpent, at least dance like one too. If you can't fathom what to do in the right direction of your life, it's because your internal compass is fucked up with other people's energy. And if you go to other people to help you clear that energy, you're literally just compounding the problem. Because no matter how long you spend under that veil of self-deceit, because some of you don't want to look at what you've done in your lives, that veil is going to get exploded off anyway. Which means you're going to be stuck feeling that stuff physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Your thoughts are going to be affected by it. You're going to have to sacrifice something and let it go. And the only thing God is asking you to let go of is what isn't yours. It's not that difficult. It's not yours. Why would you feel like you own it? I don't belong to anybody. Why should anybody feel like they have any control over my life other than God? You guys didn't make me. God made me. Why would you guys have any control over me? Can I have control over you? No, right? You'd laugh yourself silly if I told you what to do. So, what isn't yours? Why do you have it? Because something in you felt insecure, right? So you wanted to cover that void. Well, darling, when you stand at the gates of heaven, are you really going to wear a mask and think that God can see behind it? You are all precious fucking beings of life. How dare you guys insult God's gift of life to some of you by saying, we're not good enough, we want to be like Celeste. Or we're not good enough, we want to be like, someone in the celebrity world, like fucking Charlize Theron or something. She's gorgeous, man, by the way. Fucking gorgeous. Oh, and Michelle Pfeiffer, that woman and her cheekbones. Oh my God. She was designed by the hands of God, man. There's so much beauty in the world. And instead of letting people be their beautiful self, you guys want to be like them. But what's your beauty? If you're not pretending to be me or harnessing my energy or replicating your neighbor or your fucking mom or your sister or your brother or your, the guy you think is hot down the street, but you're not telling anyone, whatever. If you're a macho dude and you're pretending to be Henry Cavill and you have like a secret boy crush on Henry Cavill, like I have a boy crush on Henry Cavill. It's okay, you can admit it. But like some of you go and pretend you're like the Witcher, you know. But who are you? You guys play video games and you come up with names in video games that have nothing to do with who you are or any aspect of yourself that you're role playing in a video game or trying to embody or feel like or escape to. Instead, you guys have names like Durden and like fucking Atreyu and shit like that. Whatever, movie names and book names and copycat names. And the world will never know your legends. Because you guys spent your entire lives pretending to be someone you're not. Because you saw someone doing it in a different way and you wanted to be like them. But instead of being inspired by them, you were inspired to be like them. And that's a shame. It's a shame that people hurt you guys so much that you couldn't see your own beauty despite the pain. I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult. I had to learn that lesson before I was 4. So I can't really be that compassionate with you guys. When I learned it, I didn't even know what the word compassion was. But I learned every time I wanted something from someone else, I got smacked. I got left alone. I got isolated. I got made fun of. I got, denied things. And the more I wanted to be, I faked it and I was like, no, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better. The more they were like, nope, 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 nope. But every time it was me, boop, now we go this way. Now we go that way. Now we go this way. And it's an internal thing. It's a feeling right above your belly button and right under your wishbone, right here. You see, this is my wishbone area, right? And like how chickens have it when you buy something from like McDonald's or whatever, from KFC. That's the wishbone. That energy, when you're feeling it, is supposed to be right there. It's not your solar plexus. It's not your sacral chakra. It's something you're not told about. That's why you have heartburn and it feels really uncomfortable there. Because your body can't digest what isn't for you, including energy. And as a cautionary warning to some of you, I'm being asked to tell you because I'm seeing this card. Toss that to someone like a grenade and it goes right in their face. See, because they're holding this right there. That person tosses that over to that, and then it goes boom, kablooey, and reveals the person underneath all that fake excess and who they actually are, and then the pathway clears and you can move forward. 10, you go from the 8 to the 10 to the 7, which you go through the paths divine leads you to, and then to the wheel. So in order for you to move ahead in your life, regardless of if it's business or whatever, you have to use your own magic, like we talked about in the beginning, because what you're not using, other people are. That magic is still there. It's an endless fountain within every living being. That's how you can manifest. That power has been tapped away from a lot of you. And when you see that power in the hands of someone else, like me and other people, and we're doing it effortlessly, you're like, oh, it's magic, it's this, it's that. No, honey. It's common sense and what you're capable of doing too. You just have to stop eating your own tail, because this is a trap. It was a trap for you guys, so that you don't use your magic to keep you stuck in the wheel, so that others can direct your path and make you go in the direction they want you to go in, and then cut you down when you don't go there, and then call you names when you do, so that when you get there, you don't believe in your magic, and they can tell you what to do, what to sacrifice, and how to control you. Get it? It's not just happening to me. It's happening to everybody. A collective. If this is all God's body, it's an infection in God's body. And the only way through it is the antibody, the white blood cells. The white blood cells do not lie. They destroy lies. They destroy the virus and bacteria in the body that is overflowing and infecting it. So the antibiotic goes in, kills the bacteria, the body goes boom and heals itself. Again, with the many paths card, which was a 7, and the wheel card, which is an 8. And then the serpent card, which is a 10, shedding skin and being yourself. I think that's what Jesus meant when he said, you guys gotta die while alive. Because I've died so many times, I seriously, I've died so many times that death to me is just kind of like, whatever. See you in 5 minutes. BRB, you know? But I don't know if it's just me like that or if it's everybody. But I'm going to keep believing, you know? So, you guys are being asked to not pray as victims. Do you really want me to tell them that? That imagery you're showing me does not sound like you want me to show them that. Okay, I can tell them that instead. In 2001, I was in a guild in a game called Shadowbane. Shadowbane was a video game where it was based off of, I found this out later, off of the books Wheel of Time and Sword of Truth and the Chronicles of like Shannara or something. So it was basically a history of the Earth before Middle Earth. So the Wheel of Time series and all that kind of is before Lord of the Rings, and then it's Lord of the Rings. And if you want to get really jiggy with it, Star Wars is kind of all of it at once, and Lord of the Rings and Wheel of Time are in that time, kind of. Because remember, it's different realities, planets, and all that. So what I'm being asked to share with you is the motto of that guild, which was Dragon Knights would rather live on their Dragon Knights would rather die on their feet than live on their knees. And it stuck with me my entire, like, for 20 some years now. And I've been thinking about it so much. Like, there are people who are so proud that they would rather die standing than live in subservience, you know? And then there's a sense of pride among the species. But that pride goes out the window the minute you guys go to God. It's like you guys forget your arrogance. It's like, oh yeah, we know we fucked up, but oh, praise you, Jesus. You know? God's like, what? Didn't you just steal that? What are you doing? You know, a thief doesn't get on their knees. A thief doesn't beg. I'm like, forgive me, Lord. No, you're a thief. A rapist knows exactly what they're doing. Someone who's beating the shit out of somebody, whether they're lost in rage or possessed or whatever, there's still God's watching. Like, everything's conscious. Someone is controlling something somewhere. So you guys that are all pretending to be, some of you guys that are all pretending to be so pious and so innocent and so humble and so whatever, God's looking at you guys like, what? And others of you who are genuinely humble and kind and, you know, innocent in the grand scheme of things, you guys are so easily swayed. It's so silly. So this whole thing about rather dying on their feet than living on their knees, think about that. And if anybody from that time still plays, I was Roma Fireheart. I was that Fury that pulled off all that crazy shit. And I almost broke an entire server. There was a guild who was destroying the entire game. So I fucking infiltrated that guild, and I was like, and I made them disband from the inside out. Don't pull that shit with me. There's people trying to play this video game, and you guys are pulling all sorts of shit. No. I became so known in that game. I ended up working with the actual gaming company for a few years, designing classes and balancing shit and like parts of the map and weird quests and mechanics. It was awesome. The classes, the Huntress and the Fury class in that game, like a year after I was in that company, they were like completely one of the best fucking classes in the game. You guys remember the stories I wrote, the lore stories I added onto?
Like, that was really a good time, you know? That was fun. It was teamwork. It was effort. People would stand up for each other. And they were, a family, a tribe, a clan. But since then, it's like followers and leaders. And you guys are constantly bending your knees to God. But while you're walking, you're betraying everything you say when you bend your knees. Something isn't right, is it? So check yourselves, okay? Do an energy scan. What isn't yours? Send it back. Replace it with what is. I would offer an energy healing to work with you, but this is rampant and you got to do it on your own. And I'm not going to do this for you because I don't know what's authentically yours and what isn't. I can see the threads, the etheric, quantum, whatever things, the noodles that connect things, kind of like this. But I don't know which one's yours. But I do know which one isn't yours. You know? Like, there are certain colors that work together, certain fabrics that go together, certain color palettes that work together, and there's some that don't. Those that don't are really obvious, but those that are stolen and covered over are a little manipulative. It's on the same line as people doing ritual blood magic, and this happened to me, by the way. They take the blood out of one person, and then they put blood of another person in them, so that person B, who put their blood in person A, can do whatever the fuck they want, and then person B suffers, or person A suffers for it karmically because it's going back to the blood. Okay? And then all the blessings that would have come to this person go to that person because the blood is there. There is a distortion. So, and that distortion is seen by the universe, right? But it's not acted on to be cleansed until the parties involved are like, this isn't right. It's supposed to be like this. You know? Like, this isn't the right hand, this is the right hand, but it's actually the left hand. It's a weird distortion, a one energy in a different body, but it's the other body's energy, like a veil over someone. That also happens when you guys steal property, intentions, ideas, intellectual property, mannerisms, behaviors, styles, because it's like taking something that isn't yours and putting it on you and saying, look, isn't it pretty? Well, technically, yes, but you didn't make it your own. You took something from someone else that was theirs. Similar to, let's say I had a fucking Christmas tree that was decorated by my grandma, me, my exes, whatever, like a sentimental Christmas tree. And that Christmas tree gets yanked. Like the whole fucking tree gets yanked and put into someone else's house. And then the other person as visitors going to their house and they're like, oh, what a beautiful Christmas tree. But it's not theirs. So everything that happens in that place is supposed to go back to who owns the Christmas tree. All that praise, the credit, oh, it's beautiful, this, that, you know? But it doesn't. So then the universe is trying to throw water and clean it, and push at it, and be like, why isn't this going? But it's someone else doing this. Not blocking it, curving it. So it's barely noticeable. Kind of like what Gaia has been going through with its axis. It's a little off. Like, it's noticeable, but not by much, right? The moon was brought in billions or whatever years ago in your time frame to kind of balance it. But it's been allowed to be tilted. Why? Because somehow it creates something weird with it. It's like growing a plant in zero gravity. I don't get it. It's also similar to the zodiac wheel you guys have been using. It's not accurate, but it still kind of works, doesn't it? It's like the holographic reality. It's not really accurate. It's dancing vibrations, little dancing bubbles, honeycombs with color in them. But it still kind of works, doesn't it? Now think about it. In a matrix illusion, somebody stealing other people's honeycombs, there's going to be chunks missing, aren't there? So what does that mean? When everything is set back to order, when people wake up to heaven on earth, what does that mean? Are you the devil in heaven? Or are you an angel in heaven? Devils steal. Angels put things in order and protect. Devils lie. Angels speak the truth and bring justice. Angels will wage war and destroy in the name of God to protect life. Devils will disease life and taint it and rot it without ever killing it, just to have it tortured. Now, what are you doing in your life? Which category do you fall under? A thief or a child of light? You can't be both. Even the yin yang is in both. So you can't be both at once. You have to have a little of both at once, but you cannot be both at once fully. So are you more good or are you more bad? Be that, whatever you are. Whatever is authentic to you. There's no judgment on evil or goodness. You see, God has allowed evil to occur all over the place. Which side are you on? Black robe or white robe? Red shirt or blue shirt? Are you on the side of protecting nature or are you on the side of cutting down nature to make paper? What side are you on? What do you think about people? What do you think when people are telling you their problems? Do you think they're complaining and nitpicking? Or are you analyzing and attempting to figure out what the fuck happened? How can somebody be treated this way? If you see someone yelling and screaming in the street, are you going to be like, oh, that person's crazy? Or is some part of you going to go, who hurt them so much? Do they need help? If you're walking past an empty parking lot and it's just wasted, do you walk past it and not even notice it? Or do you look at it and you imagine what could be there instead that would help people? There's a distinct difference, especially with the yin yang and how the light is in the dark and the dark is in the light, because it has to be there. But that energy of dark surrounding the light can't contain the light. It has to spread the light slowly so that the wheel turns and the light and the dark becomes the dark and the light. Back and forth, tides of water hitting on a fucking seashore. It's just how it has been, but it doesn't have to be that way. But before it can improve, you guys, return what isn't yours. Not even to me, just to God, man. Like to the people you stole it from. Call yourselves out. You guys have been doing what you're doing. It is what it is. Why even bother explaining it? You guys know exactly what you do in your individual lives. You guys know exactly what lies you tell. And you know exactly what it is I'm talking about when you listen to me. So explain to me why I, as a reader, have to read the same energy over and over, and it's always of theft and deceit. Because you guys are choosing to do it. And then it's affecting the people who are choosing not to do it. And then it's affecting the people who have nothing to do with it, because we're all looking at each other going, what the fuck? Why is a small group of people stealing and ruining it for the whole group? Eliminate them. It's been 6 years, at the least, of my knowledge with YouTube in this way, of multiple, like thousands of YouTube channels, copy pasting and spreading all this light, right? But so few changes have actually been made by individual people. Have you noticed how so many card readers are reading about the same fucking energy? All across YouTube and other platforms. It's like we're being kept in a tide wave simulator, right? Back and forth, back and forth. Now, why do you do that? Why? Because you're trying to dilute something. Alchemy. Now, what are we trying to dilute as a species? The dark water out of the light water. What's the dark water? Bad behavior. To boil it down to a simple quintessence of what it is, it's bad behavior. And you know what that is for you. Whether you're a demon trying to be an angel and you're like, I can't do it, I hate everything. Well, or whether you're an angel trying to, do bad things because you want to be a cool, badass angel. Balance it. You don't have to stop. Just balance it. Speak the truth. Be loving. If you're a fucking horrible monster and you're like trying to take over the world and whatever, at least be authentic about it, If you're a thief and you're like a really good $1 million museum thief like fucking Catherine Zeta-Jones in those movies from like the 90s or whenever it was, be good at it. Embrace who you are, but don't pretend to be someone you're not, because you throw the entire illusion off. And people are like, play the game, play the game. How? You guys are already all playing it for me, as me. Go ahead. You guys work in the same offices sometimes with each other, or you're in the same families. How many sisters are almost identical in behavior? They're two individual human beings. Even twins are unique. Yet, one feels inferior to the other. Why? Because they feel something is lacking within themselves. That's all. But the fact that they think it's lacking means it's not lacking. It's there. You're just not seeing the magnitude of that gift you have. An example I'm being asked to share with you is me with makeup. I have no fucking idea how to wear makeup. I used to work at an Ulta cosmetic store in my 20s. I liked skincare products more than I liked makeup. I like the colors, but I like eyeliner. But other than that, I've never felt confident enough to put makeup on. But wouldn't it be fucking hilarious if the reason why I don't have that confidence for makeup is because I haven't worn makeup? The Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. The solution being in the problem. Water hitting a wall, tidal wave simulator. What's the problem? Something's not happening. What's not happening? The thing you're supposed to do. What are you supposed to do? Give back what's not yours. So what's the problem? You're stuck in the thing with the things that aren't yours. I can't come and pick your flower for you. Be like, this isn't yours, that isn't yours, that isn't yours. Because then I would be the thief. Or the hand of justice. But right now I'm being asked to play the role of the scales, kind of, where both sides are right. No side is wrong and no side is supposed to be punished right now. But if one side keeps stealing from the other side, then this side that's stealing from the other side is just ruining itself. Whereas the side that's letting the theft happen is taking itself out of the game completely, because they're not even playing by the rules they're making. They don't want to be stolen from, but they steal. They don't want to lie, but they don't want to be lied to, but they lie. They don't want to be manipulated, but they manipulate. That just can't continue to happen. Relationships cannot be continued to occur based on illusion or paid actor rentals. No more. If you want to see if the human race is really good or bad, then look at the human race as the human race, not as who they're pretending to be, or what they're channeling, or who they're fucking, or who they're stealing from. Who are you? Now let's put you your heart next to a feather. If your heart is pure within itself as yourself, it won't move, because a feather can't be anything else other than a feather. It has no other weight. So when you put a scale and a feather, it goes, boop, that's how much it weighs. But if you take a scale and you put a bunch of things, that's how much that weighs. What's the difference? They're both the same thing, but this one has a bunch of other things with it that aren't it. And if you have it just like this, it's not a yin yang anymore, is it? It's balance. Just out of curiosity, the path being cleared, if you are your authentic self that you would be with your fucking grandfather in the room. If your grandpa was in the room looking at you, would your grandpa be like this? Or would your grandpa be like this? If I was in the same room with my grandpa, he'd probably be like calling me naughty words and telling me to stop swearing so much. And then if I've like done my herbal studies and if I want to go for a walk in the forest with him, he'd probably give me some brandy or something, or try to arm wrestle me or play chess with me. He was awesome. But if I was ever fake around him, if I ever tried to take something that wasn't mine, if I ever said anything out of line to anybody that I was supposed to respect, oh boy, you better watch out. If I ever didn't wake up on time, he would stand over my bed yelling, "Get up, get up. It's not even 6:30. Get up." Ah. You know, that person would not allow any fakery. So ask yourself, if your grandfather was in the room, or your ideal grandfather, would you really have the balls to be fake and do what you're doing to me or to anybody else? Why is it okay to do it when your family isn't in the room? If it doesn't belong to you, put it back to where it belongs. It doesn't matter if you paid for it with money or not, because my things were taken from me because someone claimed that they paid for them, but they were given to me and they were taken because they had the receipt. But God has the original receipt of whatever the intent was. You guys know what you're doing. Stop it. And I'm telling you this with love. Someone literally died for stealing mail repeatedly without being, like, repeatedly after being told to stop. And he did it again. And lo and behold, he dropped dead. The other one who was messing with me and stealing from my garden, I think the cops came and took him away the other day. The other one who was gossiping about me, like she's moving and leaving. And the one who's been like standing outside my window and talking shit, like everybody's noticing it now. They're like, "What are you doing? Move." The world is done dealing with bullshit. It's not just my life. I'm a mirror just like you guys are. But really, clean yourselves off, because some of this behavior is so as a conscious living being with a responsibility to maintain life within my own being. I cannot possibly fathom how people choose to be petty and have very valid reasons. So weird. I mean, think about it. Excuses for excuses for excuses for excuses. Over something you know you've done wrong. Or you know someone else has done wrong. That's even worse. So I'm gonna go because I'm like overheating and I need water. I gotta clean this up. I hope this helps. I hope I didn't offend you, but if I did, fucking wear the shoe, Cinderella. I don't really care. What else? Everything is okay here. So, yeah, channel messages are over. I don't feel anything anymore to tell you. What I do feel right now is a very comfortable. You know, when you see someone doing the right thing, and you're like, okay, now you're doing the right thing. That's what I feel like. Like, now you're on the right way. So, some of you out there, maybe that's what you're doing. Maybe that's what you are doing. I dislike the way I've been speaking. It's been so inauthentic. And I've been feeling this energy a few days of what isn't mine. I'm like, not really much. But there's some energy around here that isn't mine. And I don't know why. So, sorry, he just licked me and it fucking grosses me out so much. And he just sits there going with his little tongue, like with the little fucking tippy tip of his tongue, like licking that spot. Oh my god, it's so gross. Oh my god. I cannot tolerate it one bit. Like, do not touch my body. Don't touch me. Ugh. Ugh. Ew. Ew. Yucky. Just look at it. Just look at it. Ah. He lost a little baby tooth. Look at it. Oh, it's right there. All right. Hello. Welcome to my PupTube channel. This is Puppy's Tarot channel, and we're going to read all your puppy cards. Here you go, puppy. Oh, look. It's money. Oh, look. It's a pup. Oh, look. It's a little. Oh, wait. Maybe I can use this as a leash for her collar. Come here. Give me that. Give me that. Stop biting it. Just wait. It's such a cute little strippy strap. Stop it. Stop me. Mr. Puppy. Sir, you're supposed to have a collar. You're supposed to be a little dog. Okay. I think it's time to feed him again.
sir. Mr. Puppy. Mr. Puppy. What are you doing? Look at your hair. Look at your hair. Look at your hair. Let's make a mohawk. Just hold fine with your little. Nope. Just wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Wait a minute, Mr. Puppy. All right, let's see. I'm gonna take you to a groomer. I'm gonna get you a little mohawk. I'm gonna paint you. I'm gonna put little fucking spikes all over you and little whips and chains, and you're gonna be a little fucking puppy. And you're gonna run around with a little, I don't know what. You want a cape? You want a little mask? You want some little boots? You can be like Ivy from Soul Calibur. You wanna be Soul Calibur? You wanna be Chun-Li? Puppy uppercut. Give me this cheek. Give me this. Give me these cheeks. Give me these cheeks. Okay, lovelies. I'm gonna go. I love you guys. I hope this was entertaining. Have a good day. Hour and 22 minutes. Oh my God. Ow.